And finally, this is what we have all the way up to the very last video. This is the latest MPC movement with the slender logic. So far, we just have the variables. And now I'll scroll down. First, we'll just look at the start function. Now let's try and show the whole of the teleport enemy. And there is actually something that I cut out of the video because, as you see, it was not suitable. So, wow, can't believe I left that in. Okay, that's that function. Let's scroll down. Okay, there is our slender decisions function when the NPC is slender. And what function comes next? Alright, let's see if I can fit in. No. Okay, let's focus on the check is visible function. And now I'll fit in, hopefully, all the update function. So there is the update. Okay, moving down. Fixed update? No. Here was our normal MPC logic. Where we could have the NPC chasing a target or running away from a target. Now I was going to do something with that. Yeah. I still will. Okay, moving down to the moving function, which is only got a few extra additions. Mainly here, where our NPC was colliding with the tree collider, but the tree collider is named terrain, so it wasn't steering around trees. Oh, and we learned how to pass variables to functions. Now let me fit in the bottom of that function. And if you would like all that debug, let's just scroll across. Okay, so that's the moving function. Now we have our fixed update again, unmodified from the earlier version. And again, our collision events, which also look unmodified from the earlier version. Okay, so let's just do that zoomed in. Now this time as I go down, because it's quite a long script, I'm just going to stop where we could see the last line, and I'm going to make that the top of the next section. So there's that. I'm going to scroll down. Okay, I'll bring it to the top of the teleport enemy function. And totally ignore that part. And let me scroll across so you can see the commented out section. Because this method does work. That's why it was a happy accident. It's not optimal. That's why I chose to use my second version. Okay. Now we're down to here. Let's just go down so we can see. Alright. There's the end of that function. So that's the whole of that function. Let's start looking at the slender decisions. Just work on the is visible part here. Now come down to the is not visible. Well, there you go. There's the end of that function. Okay, so let's look at the next function. There we have it. This is my dot product example, but more importantly, because this is the NPC and we want it from the perspective of the player, we're using target here, because the target in this case is our player, and we're the player, so we want to know if we can see it visible. But this is just a script. You can't hear me because you're paused. Let's look at the update again. Now that looks like the whole switch case there. So I'm going to bring in what we can't see off the side there. Okay. So working from the end of the my state switch. Okay, there's the end of the function. So really nothing extra there except a closing curly brace. So let's find the next part of our logic for a generic. So here we have the whole function on the screen. And I'm going to pretend I'm not going to make the same joke about moving down to the moving function. Now I'm going to scroll to the end of the function first, and then I'll expand that debug. There's a top half of moving, and there is the end of the moving function. Let's go over to what we can't see there. Okay, that's quite a debug. Alrighty. That's not all. We have the fixed update memory. This line can absolutely be deleted. This was all the way back as an example of how add force just does not work for us because it compounds. It just makes your character with the rigid body move faster and faster and faster. So when we maintain the velocity, we're setting it as a constant. It doesn't speed up. And this part here was just to prove a concept that I came up with. How when you see adding to the transform position, we use the direction, the speed, and we multiply it by time. And you can see here the relationship between transform position and velocity. There's no plus there, there's no times delta time. But it's exactly the same equation pretty much. So if you see a transform position, you can modify it to a velocity and then apply that to your rigid body instead. Okay, so the collision events. Because this is all the same as the previous, hope everyone's got that. And to finish up, let's see what we can't see over here. Not much. And it is the same conditional check for all our collision events. Because all our conditioner checks are doing are modifying the one variable, is grounded. Okay, so I do hope that helps some people out that couldn't see what was happening as I'm madly scrolling up and down, and also the way I use copy a lot instead of typing things out. So that's just showing everything we've done so far. Now, pretty sure there was nothing else. Okay, the collect papers. Yeah, fair enough. That was in a standalone, all the way back in video 10 out of the old series. But hey, we just used it, so let's bring that one up too. So there we have it on the screen. And finally, let's zoom in. And just in case you missed what was on the right hand side there, actually that's pretty good. There you go. There is the raycast example using screen point to ray, which gives us an origin and a direction, the direction being from the camera. So I do need to go back and explain that. But I would like to do some real specific video series all about raycasting, layers, layer masks, and also I want to show people how to use trigger volumes. Use a collider that's set to trigger, and then how we can run events from that happening. All the things that people want to know, how to pick up items, how to open doors. I did an answer today, which is like an old Resident Evil style camera system, where if you walk to a certain part of the room it changed camera, or with trigger volumes, using a trigger collider. So bit of blatant advertising here. Tell all your friends, because I do have fun doing the videos, but I like to see that they're being viewed too. That's the ego part of me, I suppose. I get a kick out of it. And if we can get some viewers, then I'm more than happy to keep going. Alright, fantastic. So there is a review of all our scripts. Now let's end off with a bit of fun. As I said, a lot of people wanted the script from all the way back to the obstacles. Now this was before we included the state engine. So every update, we're just moving the character towards a target. Without any range checks, without checking what he is, who he is, anything like that. But I didn't really show how you can have fun with this kind of thing. So let's just be silly. Let's grab our NPC and let's breed him like rabbits. Now, they're all producing in the same place, so as soon as I unpause, what's going to happen? They're going to fly everywhere because they're rigid bodies. Brrr. Okay, that probably wasn't the cleverest thing to do. Let's do that again. Because I was mucking around before I started this video. I thought, oh, that's a bit silly, but a bit hilarious. Let's just show you how you can have some fun. Because we've only been working with one NPC and one enemy. As I said, it doesn't have to be like that. Just a simple little script like that. We're having all sorts of fun. And I've lost my player. Now you can see them jostling around a bit. Now it's important to note, see as I get them running in a chain, you can see that raycast off their shoulders. Now they check if that raycast is hitting a terrain. They don't check if they're hitting each other, because we've only been working with one. So they actually steer off themselves there too. Okay. So we're having some fun, so let's just even do a fix on that right now.